Sandy was an event that really shook our community. And I can tell you, not only as the mayor at the time, but also as a person who was affected by it. My home had flooded. We were out of our house for 3 or 4 months.
As a public official, as mayor, there was no handbook that we could rely on with a climate disaster. 80% of Hoboken was underwater. We saw 500 million gallons of water enter our city, filling Hoboken almost like a bathtub.
We need to be better prepared. And so that began the journey with Rebuild by Design. We are in the Meadowlands, so by its very nature, we're surrounded by water. And there are certain problem areas in our community that when there's heavy rain in a short period of time, the system just gets inundated and the water has nowhere to go.
The goal is to just move that water through and out of areas that are often overtopping and into areas that can handle the stormwater volume.
We've got a phenomenal group of landscape architects and urban planners that we work with, and they have a unique ability to be able to design these spaces and incorporate these spaces within the communities, so it becomes part of the fabric of the community.
Riverfront Park in Little Ferry, primary goal is to preserve the floodplain there. So that park's in design. It proposes green infrastructure for shoreline stabilization, restoration of native plants, and amenities for the public.
Rebuild by Design, Hudson River. We really wanted to think about the future and break that cycle of destruction and rebuilding and destruction and rebuilding and see if we can innovate.
We have a series of gates that we're putting throughout the town. They range in sizes and shapes, from roller gates to swing gates to top logs. Some of these gates are massive, over 100 feet long. They're going to be housed underneath the park.
So we've done that through a series of mechanisms. One is to make sure that that water goes down into underground drain pipes or an underground detention tank.
The city of Hoboken, I think, is the 5th densest city in the country. And we're actually building these flood walls through streets, alleyways, between homes, between apartment buildings and businesses.
I haven't seen a flood wall system like of that scale in an urban environment really anywhere else. And then on top of that, aligning it with the city streets is pretty groundbreaking.
Harborside Park, that is under construction right now, is going to be a real amazing space. The wall passes through essentially the center of the park. It's kind of like a spine running through the park, but the majority of the wall is going to be actually buried underground.
Seawalls were not a preferred option because we want to protect our waterfront views. What we've done and what we're doing in this construction phase, as this is happening in real time, is building a park and act as both a form of resistance to coastal surge as well as an amenity that people can enjoy.
And I know that this is going to help mitigate the flooding. Because
when the Rebuild by Design team was formulated, there was a whole bunch of planning meetings and the whole community was involved. They were trying to talk to residents and find out, what the problems were, what their anxiety was.
The community input was critical. People from the federal government, the state government can listen to people on the ground, to listen to people who actually live in Hoboken, listen to our input and tell them what is going to work and what is not going to work based upon our local knowledge.
I've had the pleasure of talking about these projects in a number of different cities. I was actually in the city of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The mayor of Jeddah wanted to understand what was going on in New York City and New Jersey and how we were responding to these flood events. So other cities like Miami, the city of Norfolk, Boston, they're all interested in what's happening here in the New York Metro, the New York Harbor region.
There was an incredible sense of community, an incredible sense of coming together, lifting each other up, a neighbor helping neighbor. That's why the Rebuild by Design team, I think, was formulated, right? Rebuild it, design better, rebuild.
Communities can do it. If Hoboken can do it, you can do it.
The threat of climate change and of flooding requires partnerships. It's been really cool that in a time where sometimes we all feel very divided, it's just inspiring and grounding to work on a project where we all share an interest. You know, everybody wants to feel safe. There are people within the community as well who just want to help each other. It really is real life heroes work. We're so honored to be recognized for it by the Alliance.